Russia's special military operation in Ukraine has been raging for almost a year now. As the war continues, many analysts have stated that we are seeing the very nature of combat change, and that the main battle tank has been pushed into obsolescence. The argument is not new and has created a heated debate between tank loyalists, who argue that when used correctly, the tank is and will always be a combat multiplier. On the other side is the sceptics, who believe that warfare is changing and that the future of war will largely be dominated by ISR and strike assets used cohesively. Last week, the International Institute for Strategic Studies reported that an estimated 1,700 Russian tanks have been lost in Ukraine. However, some analysts believe that number to be much higher. Felled by mud, terrible logistics, and Ukrainians with anti-tank weapon systems, Russian tanks, which now appear on social media news reports mostly in burnt wreckages, would seem to indicate the answer is yes. But is it too soon to write off the tank? And should we resist jumping to sweeping conclusions about the future of warfare based on a conflict whose lessons are not yet clear? There is still much about this war that is not known from open sources, and there is good reason to believe that the conditions that marked its early phases will not necessarily be relevant to future conflicts. As a result, specific weapon systems and military equipment may appear to be ineffective based on how and where they are employed, not necessarily due to their inherent shortcomings. So let's investigate this. What does the main battle tank bring to the battlefield? What are its limitations? And how is warfare changing? Based off these questions, we can then make a more accurate analysis on whether there is room for the tank not only within the contemporary environment, but the future. My name is Zero Fox, and this channel seeks to learn from the changing geopolitical environment and engage in challenging conversations as to what is taking place on the world stage. If this is your first time here, I welcome you. Let's begin. The main battle tank has been a crucial weapon on the battlefield for decades. In the 21st century, the main battle tank has undergone significant technological advancements, making it one of the most effective and versatile weapons on the battlefield. In this chapter, we will discuss the strengths of the main battle tank in the 21st century. One of the most significant strengths of the main battle tank is its firepower. Modern battle tanks are equipped and advanced with weapon systems that allow them to engage targets at long ranges. The main gun of the main battle tank can destroy targets up to 4,000 meters away with the ability to penetrate the thickest of armor. The tank's firepower is not just limited to the main gun. It is also equipped with secondary weapons such as machine guns, grenade launchers, mortar tubes, and anti-tank missiles. The combination of these weapons make the tank a deadly asset on the battlefield. The tank's armor is designed to protect the crew and the critical systems of the tank from the enemy fire. Modern tanks are equipped with an array of composite armor, which is made of layers of different materials such as steel, ceramic, and Kevlar. This armour is designed to absorb and disperse the impact of enemy rounds, protecting the crew and the vital systems of the tank. Modern tanks are equipped with powerful engines and advanced suspension systems that allow them to traverse various terrains with ease. The tanks can travel at higher speeds over rough terrain, allowing it to quickly reach strategic positions on the battlefield. The tank's mobility is not just limited to its ability to move quickly on land, but variants of the tank can also traverse water, making it a formidable weapon in the amphibious operation. The tank's ability to traverse various terrains with ease makes it an invaluable asset on the battlefield. Modern tanks are equipped with advanced sensors and targeting systems that allow them to locate and engage enemy targets with precision. The tank sensors can detect targets at long ranges, and the targeting system can accurately aim and fire the main gun. The tank is also equipped with advanced communication systems that allow it to communicate with other vehicles and troops on the battlefield. This communication system allows the tank to coordinate with other units and engage targets with precision. The crew of the tank is highly trained and skilled in operating the tank's complex systems. They are also trained to work as a team, ensuring that the tank operates at its maximum effectiveness. Originally, most tanks relied on steel armour to defend against various threats. As newer threats emerged, the defensive systems used by the tank had to evolve to counter them. Missiles are cheap and cost-effective anti-tank weapons. Explosive reactive armour can be quickly added to vehicles to increase their survivability at the cost of additional weight. However, the detonation of this additional armour creates a hazard to any of the supporting infantry near the tank. Despite this drawback, it is still employed on many Russian tanks. Many modern tanks have also developed systems designed to more actively neutralise hostiles via an onboard Doppler radar. This system is tasked to identify the flying projectile and quickly estimates its velocity. It calculates a vector and sets off either a missile or shaped charge that sends out multiple projectiles that can take out the anti-tank guided missile. Examples of this technology include both the arena and trophy systems. Finally, a critical benefit of tanks is something often overlooked. They help inspire troops. The main battle tank are often seen in a similar fashion to cavalry units of old, offering important morale boosts for struggling troops when they are in a fix. The value of this cannot be ignored. Of course, the loss of such units can also have the opposite effect on troops, but this is true for any military asset. The main battle tank is one of the most effective and versatile weapons on the battlefield in the 21st century. Its strengths in firepower, armour, mobility, electronic systems and crew make it an invaluable asset to the military. The main battle tank is a symbol of power and protection, and it will continue to be a crucial weapon for the near future. The main battle tank is one of the most powerful weapons in the military arsenal. It is designed to provide heavy armour protection, firepower and mobility on the battlefield, and despite many benefits, there are always trade-offs and vulnerabilities. Let's briefly look into a few. Heavyweight requires certain conditions and infrastructure for the tank's operation, such as bridges, roads, ferries, or even if it cannot function well in soft areas. For example, during the offensive in Iraq, because the country's facilities were not so developed, the US tank forces struggled to advance, even without too many obstacles from the enemy. In areas where there were no bridges or roads to meet the requirements, this resulted in the tank having to wait for military engineers, resulting in temporal delays and the denial of freedom of manoeuvre. Main battle tanks are vulnerable when their mobility is incredibly limited. They are susceptible to ambushes and are easily immobilised when they become stuck in ditches, mud or water. Tanks can also be slowed down by obstacles such as fences, walls or trenches. Another vulnerability of the main battle tank is its communication system. In the event of a malfunction, the crew may not be able to communicate with each other or their superiors, which could lead to a loss of tactical advantage. The fatigue of crew can also make the main battle tank vulnerable. Prolonged periods of operation can lead to exhaustion, which can affect the crew's ability to perform their duties correctly. Fatigue can also impact the crew's response time and decision-making abilities. The targeting system of the main battle tank is another vulnerability. The enemy can disrupt the targeting system by using electronic countermeasures or by deploying smoke screens, making it difficult for the crew to acquire and engage targets accurately. A primary vulnerability of the main battle tank is their reliance on supply chains. The tank requires a constant supply of fuel, ammunition and spare parts, which can become scarce in the event of a prolonged battle or enemy attack. The training of the crew is another vulnerability. If the crew is not adequately trained, it can lead to poor judgment and decision making, which can result in fatal mistakes on the battlefield. In conclusion, the tank is a formidable weapon, but they are not immune to vulnerabilities, and understanding these weaknesses is crucial to ensure the tank is used effectively and kept safe on the battlefield. Maintaining the tank and keeping it in optimal condition is essential, and the training of the crew to ensure they can operate the tank is to maximise its potential. These measures can help to minimise the vulnerabilities and keep the tank secure in combat. In one of my previous videos, I discussed combined arms theory, and it is this concept that must be used to mask the vulnerabilities of the tank with the strength of another capability. Warfare has always been an integral part of human history for thousands of years, with conflicts ranging from small-scale skirmishes to larger-scale global wars. However, in recent years, the nature of warfare has been rapidly changing, largely due to advances in technology and changes in the geopolitical landscape. In this chapter, we'll examine some of the key ways in which warfare is evolving. One of the most significant changes in warfare is the increasing role of technology. In the past, warfare has been often characterised by close-range combat based on the capabilities available at the time. Today, however, technology has transformed the nature of warfare, with highly advanced weapons and equipment being increasingly commonplace. For example, drones and other unmanned aerial vehicles are now common sight on modern battlefields, allowing military forces to carry out reconnaissance, surveillance, and even targeting strikes with great precision and without risking the lives of soldiers. Additionally, the development of artificial intelligence and machine learning has a potential to revolutionise warfare by allowing military forces to analyse vast amounts of data and make more informed decisions in real time. Another key way in which warfare is changing is through the increased use of asymmetric tactics. In the past, battles were often fought between two armies of roughly equal size and strength. However, in recent years, smaller, less well-equipped forces have increasingly used tactics such as guerrilla warfare, terrorism, insurgency, and cyber attacks counterattacks to challenge larger, more technologically advanced opponents. These tactics can be highly effective as they allow smaller forces to strike at the weakness of their opponents and avoid direct confrontation. The geopolitical landscape is also shifting, with the rise of non-state actors and the increasing importance of economic and cyber warfare. Today, non-state actors such as terrorist organisations and criminal networks are playing an increasingly important role in global conflicts. Additionally, economic warfare, which involves the use of economic sanctions, tariffs and other measures to influence the behaviour of other countries, is becoming more common. Finally, cyber warfare, which involves attacks on computer systems and networks, is becoming an increasingly important component of modern warfare as countries seek to gain strategic advantages by disrupting their opponents' communication and infrastructure. In conclusion, warfare is changing rapidly, driven by advances in technology, changes in the geopolitical landscape, and evolving tactics and strategies. While some of these changes have potential to make warfare more efficient and effective, they also pose new challenges and risks, and it is important for policymakers and military strategists to adapt to the new reality in order to ensure the safety and security of their citizens. Whether and how the war in Ukraine will influence military procurement and doctrines is difficult to tell, but seeing dozens of $10 million tanks destroyed by $150,000 anti-tank weapons will certainly evoke questions about economic sustainability. Furthermore, drones and other unmanned aerial vehicles are now a common sight in modern battlefields, allowing military forces to carry out reconnaissance, surveillance, and even targeting strikes on military assets such as the main battle tank. With advances in technology, we are seeing bigger payloads being carried and longer flight time. This is of significant concern. With that said, advances in counter-drone measures will look to reduce the effectiveness of the drone. The success of these systems in a conflict is largely unknown and lacking significant research. So does the tank have a future, or is it, as some predict, doomed for the scrapyard? There will always be a need for protected mobile firepower. The battlefield of the future will most likely consist of remote-controlled unmanned tanks, and these assets will most likely move across the battlefield in tandem with crew tanks, increasing their firepower while reducing the risk to life. Moreover, Russian generals have been receiving a lot of criticism of how the tanks are employed. Combined arms or multi-domain approach is essential. Tanks in close or built-up areas must be protected by infantry. The number of preventable losses of Russia's armour has reignited this debate, and moreover, logistics and ISR must be tied to the manoeuvre capability in order to maintain combat readiness and situational awareness. Tanks have firepower, mobility and resilience that simply infantry just don't have. It's a flexible platform that can operate across day and night, get to the objective and deliver shock to the enemy. Ukraine would not be rebuilding its tank forces if tanks were not vital. And with the continued request of the tank by the Ukrainians to the west, we are now seeing NATO countries provide this capability. Put simply, modern ground armies' combat strategies are based in part around the capability of the tank, and until it can be replaced with something better, little, if anything, will change. But that is not to say that the tank can rest on its laurels. They must adapt or face extinction, like any military technology. It's not the best tank that counts, it's the best crew. The most expensive kit in the world doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. High quality and reality-based training of not only tank crews but military commanders is absolutely essential in order to maximise the effectiveness of the main battle tank. So there you have it. For the near future, the tank is here to stay. The tanks, like any military capability, must evolve and adapt. If you stuck around to the end, I thank you. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think the tank is here to stay? Or will the future of warfare push it into obsolescence? Like always, stay safe, stay informed. This is Zero Fox, out.